How's it going, Melinda?
How's yourself?
Pardon?
How's yourself?
Not too bad. So I assume you can hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I did hear late from Matt. There's Alex. Hey, Alex, how you doing?
Hi, Eric. Hi, Melinda. I'm good.
Hey,
So I'm thinking we should still have a quorum. I know Cash is going to join us virtually as well. I did hear from Matt late that he's not going to be able to be here tonight. But I think our newest member said that she was going to be here, so we should be okay for quorum. There is your certificate of appointment.
Oh, thank you.
And then since you're the first one to pick one of those up, you get to take your pick of which one of those you like.
I'll take this one.
Okay.
none of us were there to pick up our certificates.
Yeah, I know. I've got one for Alex and one for Matt. So I'll just be hanging on to them. Yeah, good.
Right on time, right?
Yeah. We've got several people joining virtually this evening.
Oh, okay.
So, plus our speaker tonight,
Well,
our guest is not here yet. So,
be together.
all right, I'm gonna see if we got any late stragglers coming our way.
You got old pictures, huh?
I did. It's cute.
They're old Inglewood ones?
I assume so.
Yeah, I had. Still have some. They're packets. Not nice. They're the old kind of tan paper.
Oh,
Or not old, but hand out. You guys still have all these pictures down
Yeah.
there?
Yep, we still got boxes of them.
Packed up.
Yep. We've been handing them out at the neighborhood nights. So,
Good.
yeah, seems to be a bit of a hit. So. Looks like Cash is joining us. Hey, Cash.
oh, he's talking.
All right. Hey, can you hear us okay, Cash?
I can. Can you guys?
Yes, we can. So I got word from Matt that he's not going to be able to attend this evening. So as
Oh,
vice chair, you're going to be our chair.
okay. Sorry I'm not there. I would have tried to make it in person if I knew I had to be the chair. So give me a second to get the
Yeah.
agenda in front
We're
of me.
Yeah,
Do
we're
we
still
have a
waiting.
quorum?
We do. We're still waiting for our guest tonight. She hasn't shown up yet, but
Okay.
she should be here.
All right, Eric, besides you, who's present at Red Rocks? I can't quite tell from the camera.
He
I
just
call it
walked
Public Works. I don't know what it is.
Gotcha.
These names are pretty wild. Or not even, it's not even Public Works, it'd be more like community development. Is this, what did you say, Red Rocks? Or-
Red Rocks, yep.
So Eric, are we waiting on someone, or are we good to call it to order?
I kind of want to see if Ann shows up. She should be here.
Sure.
I talked with her earlier today, but since she's the
Sure.
first on the agenda.
Yeah, we can hang on. No problem.
Okay. And so we do have quite a few people virtual tonight.
Oh, great. Great, great. Hi.
Hi.
Where would you like me to sit? Does it matter?
Wherever you live.
Wherever?
Yeah.
You
Great.
got good choices.
I know, I have a lot of good choices. Where are the virtual people? Oh, got it. So they can see the whole meeting room.
Yep.
That's great. Here, I'll sit over here so that I'm
Okay.
more on camera. Cool. This is great.
All right, Cash. I think we've got everybody here that's going to be here tonight. So whenever.
Okay, sounds good. I'll call the meeting to order. It's 6:36 p.m. by my clock, and Eric, I'll let you take roll.
All right. Chair Crabtree is absent. Vice Chair Cash Parker.
Here virtually.
Alex Dukeman.
Here,
Melinda Ellswick.
here,
Jim Woodward.
Here,
Ken Chu is absent. Samantha Hurst.
Here.
And for staff, Eric Sampson is here from Community Development. Okay.
Okay, great. Thanks, Eric. That brings us to approval of the minutes from May. That was our last meeting of 2025, May 21st. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes from May 21st, 2025?
I'll move the minutes.
All right, there's a motion, I think, from Jim Woodward. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Alex, um, sorry, this is a little difficult to do virtually. Eric, do you just want to do a roll call on that since so many people are virtual?
Yeah, might as well. Alex.
Yep.
Aye.
Melinda.
I,
Jim.
Aye.
Cash.
Is that everybody?
okay.
No, I didn't hear you, Cash. I was waiting for it.
It's I. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
Chair is absent. And Samantha, I'll just have you abstain since you weren't at the meeting.
Makes sense.
You're on that? Okay. All right. All right. Back to you, Cash. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, so the minutes from May 21st, 2025 are approved unanimously with one abstention. That brings us to public forum. I don't see anyone on my end. Eric, is there anyone from public forum, either present in the room or online?
No, I do not see anybody.
That brings us to item number 4, Ann Gillespie. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. I think that's right. From Fix and Form about South Broadway branding opportunities. Ann, I will turn over to you. I'm sorry I'm not present in person. I didn't know I was going to be running the meeting tonight. I couldn't be there in person, but thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone. You pronounced the name perfect. It's Ann Gillespie. You got it. It's normally Gillespie, and I always cringe because I'm like, that's not it. It's not it. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm Ann. I have been leading the branding working group. A little bit about myself. I'm a Denver native. I grew up here, went to Grandview, went up to CSU for school, then lived and worked in Denver. And then my parents lived in Inglewood for quite some time, and then Greenwood Village. I now live in Lakewood, and then my office is on South Broadway, right where we are doing this South Broadway revitalization project between Hamden and Bellevue. I own an agency called Fix and Form, and we do strategic branding and marketing. And I was thrilled to be presented with the opportunity to put my hat in the ring for this project when I found out it was going on. I work out of the Broadway Collective, if you guys know that building, with Ann Marlin. It's wonderful. And so we've been leading the branding charge, and what that means is the South Broadway Revitalization Project has 8 working groups within it. And the branding group specifically was tasked with coming up with 3 name concepts for that destination spot. So it's not necessarily competing with Inglewood. Inglewood is still obviously the city, but just like you have like Wash Park within Denver, or Cherry Creek within Denver, or you have Sobo within Denver. Like, it's all destination points that have destination names to them. So what we're trying to do is give this 2-mile stretch of South Broadway a destination name and then an identity and a story behind that. So I've been leading a working group that consists of residents and business owners within the area who have interest. I am also a small business owner within the area with interest, so it worked out pretty well. And we've been working through all of the data. So there's data from the citywide survey that you guys, I'm sure, are well aware of. And then we've also been conducting in-person stories with the senior center, trying to get a lot of input from people who have spent most of their lives here. And we've been working with Doug and Ida May on the historic committee. And we've also wanted to come tonight to present to you guys to just get any input or make you aware of what we're doing in the project. And then what we're working on tomorrow, which is our last branding working group in this project, is actually reviewing all of the stories, all of the themes, all of the data that we've collected to bring history forward and present or come up with the 3 final name concepts that we want to name this South Broadway corridor and have an identity and a story behind it to defend each of those names. And that is going to be presented to the communications department overall presentation to the city council on the September 8th meeting. And we're going to have 2 representatives from our branding group who are going to present our slide deck on my behalf. And they are local business owners and residents on the corridor. So it's pretty cool because each working group is going to have some invested members who are local residents present whatever is information-wise to the city council. So we're really trying to get community involvement in the project. I'm open to your questions. I'm also open to, if you want to hear some of the name ideas that have come up, anything and everything, you tell me.
Yeah, I mean, before we get to questions, I would enjoy hearing the name ideas that have come up, if you don't mind sharing those.
Absolutely. Everybody wants to know the name. I have been in business with Fix and Form for 11 years, and we specialize in branding personal and business brands. And I've named a lot of things in my career so far. And it's the name that is always the most important thing, and that's what everybody gets excited about. So I totally understand, Cash. So some of the names that we're doing, Trolley Heights or the Trolley District, because of the Cherylyn Trolley, that story. We want to bring the name Trolley forward because it was such a nationally hitting story back in the day when the horse, if you're not familiar with it, Inglewood was very well known for the trolley, the Cherylyn Trolley coming uphill, being pulled by a horse, and then the horse would literally jump on the trolley with you and ride down the hill to go back. And there's a lot of press and articles nationwide from years and years and decades ago about this trolley, and we really wanted to bring to life the quirkiness and the humor and the fun of that corridor, because the brand vibe that we've been getting in the citywide survey is we want music, we want arts, we want it to be a destination for people to gather, more coffee shops, small businesses, and co-working spaces. That's what we're really going for. So in that identity, we thought the trolley district in Inglewood was really funky, really quirky, really unique. And then we could also have the humor of the story of the horse riding the trolley car somewhere in that backstory. Some other names are Inglewood Heights, because that part of South Broadway is up on more of a plateau. There's a lot of history there that Doug Cohn informed me about, where literally if you're driving from west to east up to Broadway, you'll see kind of a dip and you go up. So it is elevated, and in some way, I want to brand that story of it's an elevated experience when you come to this part of South Broadway. And so it's Inglewood Heights because we are heightened and elevated in terms of the experience there. So that name has come up quite a bit. We really want to bring the name Heights forward. That's been a really popular opinion. And then a lot of people are still stuck on the location of it being South Broadway. But the hard part about it, which our branding group has been dissecting that we don't like, is there's already South Broadway, which is in Denver. And then there's South Broadway. And then there's historic Inglewood on South Broadway, right? There's historic downtown Inglewood. And then we're south of that. So we all joke about, do we want to be South Broadway? And then there's actually a bag that a group did, a business. Who was it? They were on South Broadway. They did the walking tour, and there was a picture, and it literally said South Broadway. And we lost it. So I think we have to get rid of South Broadway in the name. It's just the stretch of land that we're all existing on, but I think it needs to go. So we're really looking at the recent survey results in the last week or so to inform what I take to the working group tomorrow to kind of produce our final thoughts. But the word trolley and the word heights have been the most popular votes so far.
Interesting. Yeah, thank you for sharing all of that. Does anyone have any questions for Anne?
I have an opinion.
Yeah.
Or opinions?
I like the idea of trolley being, I mean, there could be all kinds of signage with that, showing it. And I think it'd be really something fun to brand.
Thank
In
you.
both ways, so.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, I think when the name trolley came about, we all envisioned the branding that could happen with it and the fun color palette and the playfulness of that. And if we're going with the brand vibe of uniquely Inglewood, which is the city's brand, it would still replicate the uniqueness of that and carry that brand forward too, of a destination within uniquely Inglewood.
Yep.
So yeah, I agree with you. Thanks for that.
Forgive me if I missed this, Anne. You may have said it, but you said tomorrow you're getting together with your group. But what is the overall timeline to finalize?
Yep. So tomorrow's the last working group meeting, and then all of our 8 working groups are wrapping up in the next week or so. The deliverable is we have a form just kind of outlining all of the deliverable work propositions, things that we plan to have in our presentation to City Council. That's due, I believe it's August 25th or 27th. So we're all working to get that done and finalized. And our working group will have 3 of those forms. So one for each of the naming concepts and the stories behind it. And then the goal is to have the final slide deck and presentation for each of the 8 working groups. So for branding, we would have our 3 concepts. And that presentation is at the City Council meeting on September 8th. That's a Monday in the evening at 6 p.m. And it's going to be recorded as all council meetings are. I unfortunately can't make it. And I'm going to be on a plane. And I said when we were interviewing for this project, I hope it's not at night because I'm on a plane. And then they said, no, it's fine. And they said, oh, it's at 6 p.m. I said, well, I'll see you later. So I'm really bummed I won't be there if any of you are going to attend. But I'm going to have 2 of my team members present on our behalf, and they'll do a great job. But that's the end deliverable that we know of. But then what I am aware of is, just as with all of these city projects, there's probably going to be some follow-up meetings. There might be another working session after that. It's kind of called a working session on the 8th. And so I'm sure with all of the information these 8 working groups are presenting, they're going to want to come back and digest a little bit more, maybe ask more questions, either pick one or say, could we, shift it this way. So there's probably going to be some follow-up work with it. I don't know when a name is going to be selected, but I'm imagining it's going to be sometime after that September 8th meeting if they're going to move forward with the full thing.
Any other questions for Anne from anyone else on the commission?
I guess maybe just a comment.
Or go ahead.
Is everybody aware that the actual trolley itself is displayed down in the lower level of the City Hall building? The horse is plastic, but
know
it's
that.
a real trolley.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to see that. Thank you.
was
I
aware
would
of,
love
yeah. Just go downstairs after the meeting if it's still open. You can see it.
Okay, is it inside?
Yeah,
Or is it down by the library?
yeah, from this entrance.
Oh, over here. Okay, cool. Thank you.
It has.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Well,
Yeah.
that further solidifies the name trolley probably needs to be in the name. So there you go.
Certainly makes it a bit more unique. I guess I'll add this comment. The South Broadway thing is interesting because, the Inglewood downtown or historic Inglewood, whatever the terminology or lingo is being used for that is one thing, but it seems like South Broadway, Stobo, it seems like Denver is sort of on that corner with the stretch from Evans up to however it's defined. I don't know how far north you would go from there to define South Broadway, but that's what I think of when I think of South Broadway.
Agreed. Yep. And that's kind of what our working group has been processing. I think the public opinion, it's been a fine balance for us of who is a business owner on South Broadway and who's a resident. And we've been wanting to diversify that, which the survey does. So when we look at business owners, there's definitely been a shift away from the South Broadway name whatsoever, but the residents who live there have said something with South Broadway, South Broadway, maybe as a humor or joke piece, but we want to make sure that it's still professional. So that's been helping us kind of weigh. I think all of the input is, are you a business owner on this stretch? What is your vested interest? Are you paying taxes? As a business owner, what does that look like, right? Because our working group really wants to make sure that we're hearing from the businesses. And also, we want the branding to be a draw in the future years for more small business owners and medium and large business to come and have leases on that stretch of land. Because one of the things that's come back in public opinion is the words vacant and desolate.
Yeah.
And empty, and we're trying to fill those leases by doing this project. So the name and the story has to hit, and then you come and see it, right? And then there's the wayfinding group with signage, the walkability, the business development group. There's an arts group, public arts, right? So we're trying to get more vibrancy is a word that's often used in the survey. What we want vibrancy, we want liveliness, we want active businesses in all of those strip malls. And to do that, we have to up the curb appeal. So the naming and the identity has to really coincide with how the community envisions the actual road, right? You don't want to drive through it. You actually want to go and stop and say, oh, that looks like a great coffee shop. And we actually looked, and between Bellevue and Hampton, which is where this project is taking place, we looked for a coffee shop. I have a lot of client meetings at the Broadway Collective, and sometimes we like to get out and walk to coffee instead of just stay there. And there's nothing. And there's the Mango Tree Coffee way, but you have to cross Hampton. Nobody wants to cross Hampton walking. Or you go all the way down to Oxford, or is it Quincy? And then there's that drive-through Starbucks, but it's drive-through, so then you're forced to sit outside. And then you have to go all the way down to Bellevue, and there's that nice fancy Starbucks there, but that's not really walkable. So we're really having a predicament of business owners there saying, if we conduct business at coffee shops, well, then we need more small coffee shops and bakeries and cafes within that 2-mile stretch, and there are very few. So these are some things that we've been talking about of how do we brand this to then get those kinds of businesses, which then would help to bring more businesses in to conduct business with lunch meetings and coffee meetings in the space.
Makes sense. Any other questions or comments for Ann? Well, hearing none, thank you very much for joining us. That's very informative, and I'm sure I speak for everyone. We'll be very interested to hear how that all comes out, how your work turns out. Good luck with everything.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's been fun to present
Yeah,
all the interest groups.
yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, and you're welcome to stay for the remainder of our meeting, but certainly don't feel obligated. We don't have a whole lot on the agenda tonight, but thank you again for joining us. Appreciate it. That brings us to number 5, the CLG update. And Eric, I'm assuming you have that update. Am I correct in that assumption?
You are correct.
Thank you.
I spoke with Lindsay last week, and our application has made it out of the state to the National Park Service, where it's currently being reviewed. Little bit of slowdown there due to the funding cuts, but Lindsay said we should hear back by the end of the month, hopefully. So next couple of weeks, I'm hoping that we'll hear the good news. And so that's what I got for that.
Any questions for Eric about that? Seeing no questions or comments about the CLG update. Number 6, the Inglewood Block Party, August 23rd, which is Saturday, I guess. Eric, I'm assuming this is you too.
Yep. So I've got Ken has volunteered to be there. It runs from 4 to 10. I will be there the whole time, but I didn't know if somebody else was interested in manning the booth with me for 4-ish hours, 3-ish, I guess. I would welcome it. So if there's any volunteers, let me know. You have Saturday and you're available.
Yeah, I'd love to, but I'm going to be out of town and out of the country, so sorry to not be able to do that. But do you just want maybe the easier thing, especially since some of us are virtual tonight? Can people just email you, Eric? Is that if they're interested and can do that?
Yeah, and Jim said he would come.
Oh,
so.
Right. Fantastic. The Inglewood Block Party is always fun.
Yeah, whatever time you want to come, hang out for a couple hours, and
I'll set it up with you first.
Okay.
Go from there.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, so that's cool. So I got Jim and Ken going to be joining me on Saturday, and that's all I had.
Great. Number 7 is also you, Staff's Choice. Do you have anything for Staff's Choice, Eric?
I do. So moving forward, we're now going to have our meetings in the community room on the 2nd floor, just due to security, staffing issues, stuff like that. So we will be on the 2nd floor community room from here on out. If we do have an action item, then we are actually going to be in council chambers. So just a heads up on that, but you'll know well in advance if we need to be in chambers. And then the second thing I had was we have a full commission now. Samantha Hurst is the new member. And if you wouldn't mind, just take a second to introduce yourself. That would be awesome.
I'm Samantha. I go by Sam or Samantha, whichever is easier. So I've been in Inglewood 2 years, so I'm excited to join.
Thanks. I didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Welcome. Sorry, more of us couldn't be there in person tonight. Just kind of shook out that way. I didn't know I was not going to be able to make it in person until the end. I didn't know I was going to be running the meeting until the meeting started. So thank you for joining us and welcome. And we're excited to have you aboard. It's a good group. And, you know, some of us have been on the commission, Melinda since the beginning. I've been on since shortly, a couple years after Matt, who's not here tonight, who is the chairman now, has been on since the beginning. But there's some newer folks too, like Alex and Ken. So it's great to have you. And yeah, again, thank you for taking the time to join us. So that brings us to Commissioner's Choice. I'll start with myself. I don't have anything for Commissioner's Choice other than one question, Eric. And if you don't know, I certainly understand. But we've had a couple months off on meetings because we haven't had any agenda items, any new business. Do you know or anticipate if we'll have a meeting next month, barring someone applying for a landmark designation or something like that?
Up in the air, like I said, but we would not have anything else on the agenda aside from maybe letting you guys know that we'll see our CLG approved.
CLG.
I would be sending out that email anyway as soon as I get that info. So
Yeah.
Right now it's not, doesn't look like it's imperative that we have a September meeting.
Yeah. Okay. I was just curious about that. Thank you. Appreciate that. And then I'll just go around. I'll start with the folks who are in person in the room. Jim, do you have anything for Commissioner's Choice?
I do not.
Sam, do you have anything for Commissioner's Choice? This is your opportunity to bring up any item you want or ask questions of staff like Eric, and there's no obligation to do so, but it's your time to bring up anything you want.
I'm wondering if someone can educate me on what the CLG is.
Oh, yeah. So I'll just give you a brief rundown. So,
Yeah, high level.
So CLG is Certified Local Government. So right now we do have a historic landmark designation process in place where if somebody wanted to go through the process and get their home on the, a historic landmark designation, they can. Right now, that doesn't really give them a whole lot of benefits to do so, but when the city is recognized as a certified local government, it opens up the homeowner to potential tax credits, state tax credits, and also potential for grants for improvement projects.
Okay.
The other thing that the CLG does is it opens up the city itself to fund potential historic grant surveys and other grant opportunities like that.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had to, in addition to revising our ordinance, which many of the people who are on this commission were involved in, and getting the city council to agree to that, we also had to get the city council to agree to apply to become a certified local government to do that. So that required some process that we had to go through, and it took a while to get to that point. So it's been sort of a long time in coming, and gives some, like Eric said, some actual incentive to folks who own properties if they seek a landmark designation, or gives them incentive to seek a landmark designation because it opens up certain tax credits and other benefits and financial incentives. So it's been the reason it's an item that's Eric is updating us on the agenda is it's taken a long time to get to this point, and we submitted the application. I guess was that in May that the city council passed the resolution to allow us to submit the application, Eric, or was that April?
It was June when it actually got submitted.
June. Yeah. So it was relatively recent, and it was the product of a lot of work leading up to it. So yes, a good question. Anything else, Sam?
No.
Okay, great. And again, welcome. Melinda, do you have anything for Commissioner's Choice?
Yes, rather. First, Eric, somewhere, I think we got a brochure from the state historical folks on CLGs, and maybe we could forward a copy of that to Sam to really bring her up to speed on that.
Certainly.
That'd be
Okay.
great.
Yep.
Also,
Yeah.
welcome, Sam. That was my sister's name, so I won't forget you. And one other thing, while watching the city council meeting on Monday, I was intrigued by the presentation about non-conforming businesses that are in his or in residential districts. And because I think that's maybe something we should all look at too. One of the ones, for instance, that they said was like a non-conforming was Bob's Grocery over on South Washington, which is listed in some of our historic buildings. So if we'd like to talk about that at some point, not tonight, but at some point, I'd be willing. And that was all I had.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, thank you. I mean, certainly I don't control the agenda anymore. And I guess Matt doesn't necessarily either, but certainly that's something if you want to ping Eric about putting that on the agenda for some future meeting, certainly Eric/Matt, I guess, certainly that's something we can, discuss in the future, but thanks for bringing it to our attention. Alex, do you have anything for Commissioner's Choice?
Nothing to add from me.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks everyone for bearing with me appearing virtually. Appreciate that. That brings us to the end of the agenda. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Heard Melinda first. Is there a second for Melinda's motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Jim. We'll stand in adjournment 7:05 by my clock. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Cash.
All right. Thank you
Melinda,
all.
Thanks, everyone.
We have one of our other planners that's working on the non-conforming use stuff, so let me touch base with him. And maybe he would be able to stop in and kind of give you guys a rundown in a future meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we could see the same thing that the council saw, or a shorter version,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have as many questions.
Okay. That was Brian that was presenting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can get him or Will Charles has been working closely with that project. So we'll get that scheduled.
All right.
Okay.
Take care, everybody. See ya.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Stay cool.
Thanks, bye.
Well, welcome, Sam.
Well, thank you.
I'm fairly new too, so
Oh, okay.
just started
Nice.
attending in May.
I just missed the May meeting. I got approved right after that, I think, so.
Yeah, I missed my first two meetings too, and medical issues that dealing with.
So you've been less than a year then, or?
Yeah, less than 6 months.
Oh, okay, yeah.